Welcome back to Stellar Eureka, where we explore nature's most fascinating and unexpected wonders. Today we're galloping into the world of horses, but not with the usual trivia about how fast they run or how gracefully they move. No, this ride takes a much wilder turn. From sweating foam to reading facial expressions, horses are full of bizarre biological secrets and quirky evolutionary twists that most people have never even imagined. These aren't your everyday horse facts. They'll make you look at these majestic animals in a completely new light. Ready to saddle up for some serious surprises? Let's dive into 10 horse facts that are truly mind-blowing. Horses don't just run fast, they see fast. With eyes set wide on either side of their heads, horses have nearly 360-degree vision, allowing them to scan almost everything around them without moving a muscle. They only have 2 small blind spots, right in front of the nose and directly behind the tail. Everything else in full view. It's a survival superpower, letting them spot predators from nearly any angle, even while grazing. But there's a flip side. Step into one of those blind zones and you might startle them. It's why horse handlers are trained to approach calmly and avoid sudden surprises, because when you can see almost everything, the unseen becomes alarming. Seeing the world nearly all at once? That's impressive. But wait until you find out how these animals handle digestion. It's a one-way journey, and there's no turning back. For all their size and strength, horses have one major internal weakness. They can't vomit or burp. That's right. Once a horse swallows something, it's a one-way trip. Their stomach has a powerful valve that only opens downward. So if something goes wrong, there's no eject button. This quirk makes them especially prone to digestive issues like colic, a potentially life-threatening condition. It's why even a small dietary mistake or a sudden change in routine can lead to serious trouble. Their muscles may be built for endurance, but their stomachs? Not so much. Luckily, what they lack in digestive reversibility, they sometimes make up for with facial features unlike anything else in the animal kingdom. Believe it or not, some horses can grow mustaches. And we're not talking a few stray whiskers, we mean full, thick, face-framing stashes worthy of a Wild West showdown. This quirky feature shows up in most breeds, like the Gypsy Vanner, where it serves more than just a fashionable flair. The extra fuzz helps horses detect their surroundings, acting like tactile whiskers to sense obstacles in dim barns or chilly climates. They may look comical, but they're a real evolutionary tool, a touch of flair with a surprising function. And if you thought facial hair was unexpected, just wait until you find out how horses sleep standing up without tipping over. It might sound like something from a circus act, but for horses, sleeping upright is just smart biology. Thanks to a special system in their legs called the stay apparatus, horses can lock their joints and doze without collapsing. It's a survival adaptation designed to let them rest without becoming easy prey in the wild. But here's the twist. Real, deep REM sleep still requires them to lie down. So while you might spot a horse standing still and catching a light nap, it'll only stretch out fully when it feels completely safe and secure. Next time you see a horse looking motionless in the field, it might not be bored. It might be dreaming, on its feet. And speaking of surprises, what's going on inside a horse's mouth is far more complex than you might expect. Chewing hay might look uneventful, but it fuels a hidden superpower. Horses produce up to 10 gallons of saliva a day. And no, that's not just drool. This enzyme-rich saliva kickstarts digestion, breaking down tough, fibrous plants like hay and grass. It lubricates food, helps prevent choking, and even protects them against ulcers. But here's the catch. Saliva only flows when a horse chews. So if they're not munching, or if their teeth aren't in great shape, things can go downhill fast. It's constant, it's messy, and it's essential. For horses, digestion doesn't begin in the stomach, it begins with the jaw. And while all horses rely on this system, our next fact takes us into the world of the rare breed with a body built to defy expectations. They're known for beauty and stamina, But Arabian horses are anatomically unique too. In fact, they have fewer bones than almost any other breed. Most horses have 18 pairs of ribs, but Arabians typically have just 17. They're also missing one lumbar vertebra and one tailbone. These skeletal differences create a shorter, more compact body built for agility and endurance, perfect for navigating harsh deserts and long-distance rides. For centuries, their elegant frame and legendary stamina made them prized companions in war, trade, and travel. Fewer bones might sound like a disadvantage, but in the case of the Arabian, it's a blueprint for grace and power. And if you think bone count is impressive, wait until you meet the horse that lived longer than anyone thought possible. Most horses don't make it past 30, but Old Billy wasn't most horses. Born in 1760s England, this barge horse worked along canal routes for decades and even lived to an astonishing 62 years old. That's more than double the average horse lifespan. And even more impressive, considering he wasn't resting in a pasture, he was pulling heavy loads long into his old age. By the time he passed in 1822, Billy had become a local legend. His skull now resides in the Manchester Museum, a quiet nod to a horse whose sheer endurance defied every expectation. He might not have been fast or flashy, but Old Billy proved that resilience, not speed, is what makes a record breaker. And from legendary lifespans, we now shift to something even more remarkable: emotional intelligence in the form of facial expression. Self-awareness is rare in the animal kingdom, but horses make the cut. Like dolphins, apes, and elephants, horses have passed the mirror test, showing signs that they recognize their own reflection. It's not just vanity, it's a window into their cognitive depth. This kind of recognition hints at emotional intelligence and complex memory. Horses remember people, places, and even feelings, reacting differently based on how they've been treated. That's part of why equine therapy is so effective. The connection runs deeper than routine. It's built on trust, awareness, and mutual understanding. They're not just smart, they're emotionally tuned in. But while their minds impress, the next fact proves their bodies are just as fascinating, especially when it comes to sweating. Ever seen a horse finish a workout covered in suds? That's not soap, it's sweat, and it contains a protein called latherin, found only in horses. Latherin gives their sweat a foamy, frothy texture, but it's more than just a quirk. It actually helps sweat spread across the coat, speeding up evaporation and keeping the horse cool, even in extreme heat or intense exertion. So that soapy look? It's a built-in cooling system working exactly as nature intended. Strange? Yes, but also impressively efficient. And speaking of subtle brilliance, the next fact explores how horses communicate entire moods without ever making a sound. Horses may not talk, but they're far from silent. With more than 17 unique facial expressions, they use subtle signals to communicate everything from fear to affection. A flicked ear, a widened eye, or a wrinkled nose. Each movement reveals a glimpse into how a horse feels. Researchers even developed an equine facial action coding system to decode this silent language. For those who learn to read it, every ride becomes a conversation. Because when you understand a horse's face, you're not just watching, you're connecting. From mustachioed mares to mirror-savvy stallions, horses continue to surprise us in the most unexpected ways. They're not just majestic, they're marvels of biology, behavior, and evolution. Which of these facts caught you off guard? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know which one changed how you see these animals. If this video gave you a new appreciation for horses, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow nature lovers. There's always more to uncover, and the wild never runs out of wonders. And as always, this is Stellar Eureka, signing off.